What's good out there, Liquid Trucking? Welcome into the Liquid Trucking Podcast. I am your host, Marcus, and I'm going to start this one off with a real big round of applause for all of our dads out there. Happy freaking Father's Day to every last one of you. I know we got a lot of dads out there rolling and making money for the family right now. We didn't quite know exactly how we wanted to do this, whether we were going to do the Father's Day special a few days before Father's Day or a few days after. We've had to do that in the past just because of kind of the dates and things that we have scheduled. We're fortunate enough to be able to bring you this Father's Day special here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast a few days before you get to celebrate the big day. And I know that some of you guys out there won't be able to celebrate the big day on the big day, but if nothing else, let me join hands with your families and say thank you for everything that you do. Just a repeated happy Father's Day wish to you, and the sacrifices that truck drivers make, a large portion of them being male. Not to say that there aren't lady truck drivers out there, and not to say that they don't equally sacrifice time with their families, because I know they do. But we all know that trucking is a male-dominated industry. That means we're going to have a lot of dads out there. And we just want to send out a big, warm, firm grip, eye contact handshake and say, Happy Father's Day to all of you at Liquid Trucking and beyond that have brought life into this world and nurtured it into being a better, I guess, a better generation than ours. I can't say that because I just have corgis. I have no kids. As far as nurturing my corgis, look, they're well-fed. They're brushed. They certainly have an attitude. I can't guarantee they'll be better than the next generation of dogs just because, well, I let them get away with whatever they want to. Straight up. I won't lie to you guys about that. But, my parents, my mom especially, always sends me a happy Father's Day card, a happy Corgi Father's Day card. So, you know what? It just melts my heart. And this episode today is going to be a little bit of a heart melter, and I'm really excited for it because not only are we doing like we've always done in the past with Father's Days, Mother's Days, Valentine's Days, whenever we can, we invited as many drivers in here as wanted to join the show today, and I ended up with 4 of them that are going to come on with me and talk about what Father's Day means to them, and also talk about some time that they spent with their dads, because that's what Father's Day means to me. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you I don't like to get a card and it doesn't warm my heart to be a corgi dad. I love it. But Father's Day for me is about celebrating my dad. That's my golfing buddy. That's my hunting buddy. That's the guy who taught me everything I know about how to play poker. That's the guy that taught me how to wakeboard and water ski. That's the guy that taught me how to shoot a basketball and, throw a baseball and hit a baseball and take a hit in football. The guy taught me absolutely everything. So little tribute to my pops. His name is Les. That's going to come up at the end of the show. But here in the middle, we've got 4 drivers to talk about Father's Day and what it means to them right around the corner. That's going to be Mikal Duncan, Mike Stanfield, Tim Spencer, and Matt Kleich all joining me. And these guys have some really cool stories to tell. We'll get into talking about even generations in the past. We'll figure out what the families look like and who's going to be celebrating the hardest. And listen, I'm going to go on here and tell you this beforehand because, as you guys know, we record these interviews in advance. They have to go through editing and review and everything like that. But something happened right after this interview, and I normally wouldn't air. I won't even call this dirty laundry, but I wouldn't normally air a little bit of dirty laundry on this podcast, but I'm going to because of how touching it was. We got done talking to Donut, Mike Stanfield, Tim, and Matt, which you'll hear here in just a minute. And my phone buzzed. It'd probably been, 20 minutes or so after I had that conversation with those guys, which was a great conversation, by the way, and I'm excited for all you guys to hear it. But Mikal Duncan texted me right after that. And he said, he referenced something in the interview, and he said, that hit kind of hard with me. I feel like this was a super long-winded way to say thank you. I really needed this. And like I said, I'm not airing all the dirty laundry out that Mikal sent me here. That's between him and I. But one thing I want you to pay special attention to is when you're listening to these guys talk about their dads and talk about being dads, think about it from your own perspective like Donut did during that. He was in on the conversation, but he was also listening really closely to what the other guys had to say. And I'll tell you, if you're having a tough week, if you just really are homesick right now, or maybe it's just, there's been that little black cloud that's been following you around for a few days and you just can't kick it, man, this next upcoming interview segment might shake you out of it. It's touching, it's heartwarming, and all in all, just a fantastic conversation with these liquid drivers. So let's get into it now. I don't need to blabber about this anymore. As I said, I got a tribute in the back half of the episode coming up for my dad. And just want to say happy Father's Day to all of our fathers from Liquid Trucking and beyond. And thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for the sacrifices that you make. And thanks for being a part of the Liquid Trucking podcast. Of course, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Let's get to the interview.
Welcome to the gold standard of podcasts for the gold standard of drivers. This is the Liquid Trucking Podcast with your host, Marcus Bridges.
All right, dads, it's time for a segment I've really been looking forward to, and it's a segment where we get 4 drivers on and we just have a conversation about Father's Day, what it means to them, what it means to their dads, things that they've done, and they're all here waiting for me right now. So let's welcome them into the show. Welcome first to the show here, a podcast regular and a guy that literally will let me call him anytime, morning, noon, or night. Did not even know that I was calling him today, yet he's still here. Let's say hi to Mike Stanfield. Mike, thanks for being here, catching up with us on your home time. Really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, not a problem.
Also joining us today, we've got Mikal Duncan, who we will be referring to as Donut, so we don't confuse our two mics in here. Donut, thanks for being here today, man.
Not a problem. I'm also on home time. So.
Yes, also checking in with me from the quiet confines of home, and I'm glad to hear it. I do want to say this right now while we're on the subject. I never expect a liquid driver to come on this show with me when they're on home time. I will ask. Repeatedly, I will ask, but I never expect it. So really appreciate you guys when you join us when you're not even on the clock. I can't tell you how much it means to me and the rest of the people listening to our great podcast here. So thanks. And I might be wrong here, but it sounded really quiet when he picked up the phone where he was. So is there a chance that Matt Kleich is joining us from home time as well today?
I am still here.
You are still here.
I'm here. Yep. I'm taking care of family right now. So
perfect. Well, thank you for taking a little bit of time out to talk to us. One of these drivers is still out there pounding the pavement. His name is Tim Spencer, and he's here as well. Tim, we appreciate you taking the time while you're actually on the job.
Hey, no problem.
So, fellas, we're all fathers here, right? Except for me. I think I'm the only one in the equation here. I've got fur babies. I don't have human children. But let's go around and find out a little bit about the families that we're going to be talking about here today. Mike, we'll start with you. You're at home time right now. Tell me what's going on around the house and who's going to be joining you to celebrate for Father's Day this year.
Well, right now I'm trying to put a sole back in my son's boot. Hey, bring me your boot real quick. He's like looking at me like, hey, this came out of here. Can you fix this for me? I'm like, yeah.
This is peak dad stuff. Right now. Yeah, peak dad stuff. I can tell, man. That's great. I'm glad because when you said I'm trying to put a sole back in, I was like, did going on home time take your soul away, Mike? What's going on here?
We plan on, we're going to go over to my mother-in-law's house. I'm going to make some smoked meatloaf, probably some smoked mac and cheese, and we're going to celebrate with them. And then on Sunday, man, it's pretty much just, hey, you guys, really? I'm probably going to ride my motorcycle and just hang out with my kids and family and stuff.
Awesome. And remind us, I know we've asked you on here before, but for the people who didn't hear those previous episodes where we asked you how many kids you had, fill us in. How many kids?
I got 4 kids. I got an 18-year-old. She just graduated. A 16-year-old, a 12-year-old who's going to be 13 in August, and my son is 7.
congratulations on the recent grad, man. I bet that was a lot of fun. Big new life changes on the horizon for that one.
Hopefully.
I hear ya. All right, let's check in with Donut. Donut, you're hanging out. You told me when I asked what some of your favorite Father's Day activities would be, you said something that I knew you were going to say, which was viding with your son, playing some video games with him. So how are you guys going to be celebrating Father's Day, and who's going to be there celebrating with you?
We're gonna end up celebrating it late. I'm actually on the road for Father's Day this year, but the plan is my partners, his mom, him, and maybe his cousins. We're gonna sit around, do like a LAN party later in the afternoon. But during the day, when I get back, we're planning on going out and going shooting with BB and pellet guns.
Oh, that's awesome, dude! And I mean, you just melted my heart as a 12-year-old kid. You're gonna do shooting and a LAN party all in the same day. If you put pizza in this equation, I might pass out.
Well, it's up to him if he wants pizza or Chinese food. He's got that tism, so he hyperfixates on a particular type of food. So we'll see what it is that week.
Hey, I've never been diagnosed, but I can relate, okay? Because, and for me, it just does happen to be pizza. Like, I'll tell you a little story from last week. My wife was going to be home late for dinner, and I didn't want to make anything. So about 3 o'clock, I put like a little shitty like oven pizza in and ate the whole thing. And she calls me at like 9:30, and she's like, "Hey, do you want me to just pick up a pizza on the way home?" And I was like, "Sure, that pizza sounds good." Like I'll eat it every day, all day, and yeah. So I totally understand. Totally understand where your son's coming from.
Yeah, well, he's 5. You were talking about 12-year-old you. He's 5.
Okay.
And
well, I didn't mature very quick, Mike.
Yeah. Well, so I say that to say this. The last time we did a LAN party over there, we played Call of Duty Zombies for Cold War.
Uh-huh.
And we did Fortnite. And on both of those, he owned me and every other adult in the room who grew up on this stuff. And we're like, we have been playing this for 30 years, and we just got owned by a 5-year-old.
Yep.
What?
I can't wait till he looks at you and gives you the Bane quote. You merely adopted the video games. I was born in them. Yeah, that's great, man. Well, that sounds like a really fun time. And hey, even if you're celebrating it a little bit late because you're on the road on the actual day of Father's Day, glad to hear that you guys got some plans in place. Sounds like it's going to be a fun night over at your place. Matt Kleich, let's move on to you, my friend. Talk to us about the family. Who's going to be around? Who's celebrating you? And what are you getting into?
I'm not going to lie. I don't have anything big planned. You know, after being a dad of 7 kids, 7 grandkids, 1 on the way, my sister's birthday lands on Father's Day. I can tell you that much.
So you're going to be celebrating other people on Father's Day.
Honestly, I have no idea. You know, my kids, they're kind of moving around a little bit. You know, I've got quite a few of my kids have kids of their own. So now it means something more to them, you know. Absolutely.
But hey,
I can tell you this much: if I do spend it with anybody, it will be with my dad.
Oh, that's great.
My dad is my best friend. So if I do anything, my kids can come and go and do what they want, but I'll go spend it with my dad.
Very cool.
If I do anything.
Very cool, man. Well, I'm going to ask you some more questions later on in the interview here about your dads as well, and I'm glad that that you might get to spend some time with him on that day. I will tell you this: with 7 kids and 7 grandchildren and an 8th on the way, you're on the better side of having a full offense and defense for a football team. You only need just a few more, and we'll crack that 22 mark. Just good work, man, is all I can say. Good work for you and the family.
I'm just telling you, if I put Oregon up against my 2 granddaughters, it's over for Oregon. The granddaughters are vicious, man.
Yeah, well, look at Grandpa, man. Where do they get some of that from? I bet you instilled
their
a little
parents,
of that.
Not me. Nope. That's their mom.
Hey, I get you. Well, thanks for that, Matt. Again, sounds like it's going to be a good time, whether it's spent with your dad or not, and just hoping that you do get to spend some time with him. Tim, we're on to you, my friend. What's Father's Day going to look like around your place, and who you spending it with? Who's celebrating you?
Well, it's more of Father's Day summer than it is just one day. So I don't work a whole lot in the summer, and that's the time that I spend the most with the kids. So Father's Day, I think that week we're actually working on the house. So I will have two of my youngest and my oldest coming to help me work on the house. But other than that, I mean, we're going to the Dells in Wisconsin, going to the biggest water park, and then we've got Adventureland passes, so we'll be there throughout the summer. We've got passes to go out to ride go-karts and work on the house, and summertime is kind of my time to be the father.
That's awesome, Matt. It sounds like you've got so many things planned that you're just like you filled up an entire summer worth of activities. And Tim, I can't tell you how excited that makes me. Honestly, it makes me kind of jealous because my summer looks like garbage compared to yours right now. And I mean, even if I had honeydew stuff like housework to do, that would be the only thing I've planned for my summer at this point. So I love the fact that you get the Adventureland passes, man. I don't have a theme park close enough to me or a water park close enough to me to do a season pass, but it's always kind of been a dream for me. I bet your kids absolutely love that thing.
Every year I'm like, are we sure we want to go to Adventureland? Are we sure we want to get Adventureland passes? I'm Adventureland out. Now, the water park is the first time we've done that, but they love going to Adventureland. Now we got food passes, so they love that too.
Oh, snap, man. Just get as much junk food as you can in your stomach and go get spun upside down in a corkscrew, right?
Absolutely.
That sounds great, Tim. Well, you guys all got some great plans here. I really think it's cool that, A, you've got these big families that are excited to celebrate with you. I love that about it. And B, it's tough. I think that one of the things that sometimes we gloss over a little bit on here is the fact that the job that you guys do doesn't always make it so that you can be there lickety-split on the spot, just because of it's Father's Day. And I love that you guys have kind of planned around work and everything like that. And for you, Tim, enjoy the summer, man. That sounds like a hell of a way to flip it. Do you have, I know that there's a lot of guys that work for Liquid that during the summer, they're manning a ranch or a farm of some type. Is that kind of why you take a little bit more time off in the summer? You got another a job like that you're doing, Tim?
No, I just manage my money, and so by the time summertime comes up, I'm 3 months ahead on my bills, and I've got a bunch of money in the bank, so I don't have to work at all. I still work 2 weeks, about 2 weeks a month, and I'm home daily and don't need the money, so if they don't have a load for me, I don't really care.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's great, man. That's an awesome situation to find yourself in, and congratulations on the money management thing. I know I could take a few tips, so I'm going to write your name down as a potential guest for a future financial planning episode, so maybe you can give me some tips, all right?
Absolutely.
So, guys, here's something that's a little bit of a deeper question, and I know it's probably going to catch some of you guys by surprise because I didn't prep you at all for this. But I kind of like it when these questions do catch people by surprise, because if you give somebody a lot of time to think about something like this, it might not come up with as genuine of an answer. And also, I'm going to ask you guys this question knowing largely nothing about your relationships with your own fathers. So forgive me if I overstep my bounds when I do ask this question. But Mike, I'm going to start with you. What's one trait that you got from your dad that you hope that you can pass down to your children?
Well, first, I think my son wants to say hi. Want to say hi?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? Who's this?
Say your name.
Eli.
Eli. Well, welcome to the Liquid Trucking Podcast, Eli. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dude. Does he have 2 working boots now, Mike?
He does.
Okay,
yep,
good.
He's wearing them right now.
Awesome, man. Always love it when we get a cameo from a family member on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. So big hats off to Eli for making an appearance here. Back to the question. Do you want me to ask it again?
No, I heard it.
Okay.
To be honest, I think one of the biggest attributes that I got from I have two dads. I have a stepdad who helped raise me since I was 6, and then I have my other dad who was in the Army, so he wasn't around much, and him and my mom divorced when I was a baby. I think the biggest attribute was to be here for my kids when, and I hate to say this, but I didn't have a very good relationship with either one of my dads growing up. I was kind of a butthead, and I got in a lot of trouble. And so we didn't really have that great of a relationship, and they weren't really there for me. So that's why the biggest thing that I took from growing up with them was to actually be here for my kids, listen to them, understand what they're going through, and try to help them as much as I possibly can.
And that's a great thing to pass down to them to, utilize when they're raising their children. And, I hate to bring sports into it, but I always hear this from coaches that the best ability is availability. And I feel like you kind of just said that too about your family. Is it doesn't matter what's going on, you got to be there. That's the whole thing, is just showing up.
Yep, absolutely. And I hope that if I teach them anything in life, is to be understanding and to make sure that family always comes first.
Great, man. That's a great answer to that question. And we got to talk to your little guy there. I mean, this interview is just going so well so far. You guys are killing it. I'm going to be so happy with the end product of this. Sorry, a little peek behind the curtain into what's going on in my mind as I listen to the drivers talk here. Donut, let's go to you. Same question. What's one trait you got from your father that you hope that you can pass down to your children?
Well, I had a little bit similar there with Mike. My biological father wasn't around most of my life. Not because of Army, just because, well, he was him. And I ended up, I have a stepdad, and I was in the foster care system for a little bit, and ended up, I've talked to you about this before, but I ended up kind of adopted, not legally, by a Mexican family, the family of my best friend in grade school. And I still go see him a lot. And when I was 15, I ended up reconnecting with my father, and he's my best friend. He's one of my best friends now. We've talked about the whole gone thing, but what I got from all of them, including my grandfather, my mom's dad, is the one who primarily raised me and taught me how to be a good man. Mm-hmm. But they all eventually taught me roughly the same lesson: is that no matter what else is going on, being there for your kids is important. And I know that's one of my father's greatest regrets, is he made terrible decisions that kept him from doing that. It is being there for your family and owning up to your shit.
Yeah, I mean, he literally did that in your guys' situation. It sounds like he owned up to the fact that he wasn't there when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm. The first time I called him dad, he's like, "I don't deserve that." I said, "I know, but I do."
Wow. Man, Donut, you've told some crazy stories on this podcast, man. Not that one's overall crazy, but like that, just that you're comfortable enough to come on and say that, because that's a vulnerable moment that you just shared right there. Yeah. And I can't tell you how happy it makes me to know that you guys have reconnected. And did you find some similarities in your personality once you actually met and got close with your dad as an adult? Did you start to see some things about the two of you that were kind of similar just because it's in the genes?
Yes, quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, more than you would think, I would assume.
He showed up for my senior graduation. I had all of my friends knew that I had very limited exposure to this man. That by the time I graduated, I had only seen him in person twice since I was 3 years old. And they're watching us both. My friends and my family are watching us walk around the yard in lockstep, opposite directions, moving about the same way. Somebody called our names, our heads whipped around, same expressions on the face. Yep. And everybody's like, okay, I used to say that nurture overrides nature, and I have to completely rewrite my thought process on that.
Yeah, those physical attributes especially, man, you can't nurture those out of a person very easily, that's for sure. But I love to hear it that you and your dad have reconnected and you guys are as close as you are now, man. That's a hell of a story. I mean, right out of a Hallmark movie, if you want my honest opinion. It's a tearjerker, and you could write greeting cards about it. It's one of those stories, man. And, again, I just appreciate it. The fact that you tell that story on this podcast. It's amazing.
So, you're not getting the sass in the relationship between the two of us. He will occasionally, I will be doing something or talking about doing something. He'll be like, "Oh, I gotta be dad here," and I'd look at him and go, "Why would you start now?"
Oh, Jesus! So you don't let him. You don't let him forget.
Oh no, he fires right back. We're, like I said, he's my friend, and we've both made that very clear to people that while he is my father, he wasn't there to be my dad. So he wants to be part of my life. He missed that.
Yeah.
So now he's my friend because that's all he can do.
Sure.
I already had good dads.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm happy to hear it. Moving on here to another driver who said that his dad was his best friend, and I can relate to that too. That's right where my dad lies in my group of friends. All right, I got a lot of really close friends, guys that I would take a bullet for, and my dad definitely stands at the very top of that list. So I get it. Matt Kleich, let's talk about a trait that you got from your dad that you're hoping that you have passed down to your children or even your grandchildren.
Well, I gotta be honest with you, Marcus. I've been listening to you guys, and I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, what trait would my dad give me that I could pass down my kids? And I guess as old school, because I'm a very fortunate man.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are still married. My dad is 74. My mom is 74. 55 years they've been married.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here like thinking, what trait could my dad pass to me? And it's just don't be a puss. That is my dad to a get-go. He does not care. And I had to think about this because my grandpa was an old school cowboy. He was one of the last. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so my grandpa, my dad, yeah, it's just don't be a puss.
Yeah.
You got to get stuff done. You have to take care of your own. And in today's age, that's tough to see. But if I can pass it on to my kids and on to my grandkids, don't be a puss. You got to get stuff done, be held accountable. That's the trait I would like to see. Absolutely,
man. It makes sense. And, it's hard. I think generationally, don't be a puss has changed. Like we always have kind of had that as men. You always have that don't be a puss. That's kind of always the thing that's over your head.
Yeah.
And it's as generations move on, you might not be able to say it the exact same in a public setting. Like we heard rub some dirt on it or walk it off a lot of times when I was a kid, because if your dad was at a baseball game and went, don't be a puss, they might walk him out the side door, So rub some dirt on it, walk it off, those types of things. But I think those are good virtues to have. And that doesn't matter whether it's a daughter or a son. Passing that trait on down to them is a good thing.
Yeah. I think that, my dad in my eyes is my hero. And like you said, sit on the curb, have a good cry, rub some dirt on it, get over it. You don't see that a lot anymore.
Yeah.
You just don't. And I come from that generation where it's like, we didn't have a choice but to rub some dirt on it. I can remember my grandma saying, guess what? You can sit out on the deck until you're ready to eat. I'm ready to eat now. No, you're not ready to eat till I say you are. I remember it.
Yeah.
I thought I was okay because you left the decision in my no, you're ready to eat when I tell you. Okay, so I'll sit out here. And my dad's the same way. I have so many conversations, and just so you know that every day I talk to my mom, every day I talk to my dad, and I have two aunts that I talk to every day, regardless. It's every day I talk to my parents and my aunts.
That's
about
amazing.
every other day I talk to my oldest brother. So when I say it's tight with what my dad drilled into us, it is. Don't be a puss and carry on.
Sure. Now, you did tell me earlier that a couple of your daughters, your oldest daughters, are angry. Could that have come from 20 years of you yelling, don't be a puss at them? Or did they get angry?
My daughters don't like me. My daughters don't like me because I'm honest, and they are too. My daughters are great girls. I probably for a truck driver can say, I got one that's going to the FBI. I can't say her name and I won't. I got another daughter that's got 3 kids. You know, bless her heart. It just keeps going and going and going. But they know their dad. They know their dad.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you right now, as a proud American citizen, we could use all the don't be a puss generations in the FBI that we can get. If she's coming from that line of parenting, I think she'll do just fine in the FBI, Matt.
She's going to scare some people.
Yeah, I think so, man. That's awesome.
She scares the hell out of me, I'm just saying.
Good. It's good practice for her.
As far as kids, as a proud father can say, Marcus, I just tell you, the bottom line is I was raised by the greatest parents in the country. They're still married today. I know all my aunts and uncles on both sides of the family. I'm kind of a silver spoon when it comes to the family line, and my kids are rock solid. They know what they're doing.
That's
and
awesome.
They got raised by a truck driver. So
well, lots to be said about that for sure. Because I talk to a lot of drivers and I hear stories about their kids and their families and everything. And I think we got a lot of good drivers raising a lot of good kids out there, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do this whole episode. Now, we will have to put a pin in one thing that you said there, which is that your parents are the 2 best parents in America. I'd like to throw my hat in the ring there, sir. I think my parents are the 2 best parents in America, and what are you going to do about it?
It's a steel cage match.
Oh, no, man. We're both lucky to have parents that we can say that about, I think, you know?
Yeah. I think anybody that can say that you truly love your parents, and it doesn't matter with what we've heard today, but if you can truly say you love that person, that's a parent. Yep. If they've raised you, they've helped you, and you consider that, you're fortunate.
Yeah.
Because there are some people out here that have the worst parents in the world.
Well, you know, getting back to what Donut said there about how his dad can't be his dad now, he can be his friend because he already has dads that he trusts and loves and that were the father figure in his life. And I think that really connects to what you just said there, Matt, is it doesn't matter the actual blood relation to the person. If they were your father, they were your father type of thing, or your mother, they were your mother type of thing. So well said there, man. Really well said. Tim, thanks for being patient here. I knew with 4 drivers and kind of long-winded questions that this was going to be a little bit of a be patient one. So I appreciate you guys all for being patient while the other drivers are talking. But Tim, I'll come to you with the same question, my friend. A trait that you got from your father that you're hoping that you can pass down to your kids.
Well, like a lot of these guys, I didn't have a father for the first 14 years of my life until I was adopted. And he's a very great man. I guess one of the biggest things I learned from him was his work ethic and family. He was all about work, or he was all about his kids. And he did the same thing I'm doing now. I'm either working, or I'm with my kids, or I'm working with my kids.
That's awesome, man. And the fact that you get to spend so much time with them in the summer too. I mean, that's such a big deal. Like I do remember as a kid, our summer weekends were always the big time because that was when Dad and Mom were both off work and we were going to do something as a family. And you get that every single day during the summer when you can take some time off and spend some time with them. And again, the best availability or the best ability is availability, and you're there for them. It's great stuff, man. And again, you got a stepfather that stepped in and took care of you, or an adopted father, that stepped in and taught you that about being a man. And it's just great stuff here. I think that you passing that on to your kids be phenomenal. But the one way to do that, I think, is to show up with them at the go-kart track and beat them relentlessly until they finally figure out how to beat Dad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're beating them down the water slides too, I'm sure of it. I can sense the competition here.
Oh, I promise you that. I got a lot more weight than they do.
I hear you, man. Well, I want to chime in on this too because, I talk about my parents on this podcast all the time. And of course, it being Father's Day, I'm going to have a message for my dad towards the end of it. But one thing, and again, I don't have kids and it's not going to happen. And it's a bit impossible for me to pass this down to my corgis, I think. But I gotta be honest with you. It's my sense of humor that I got from my dad. And sometimes it gets in my way, and I think sometimes I kind of rely on it in times when I shouldn't. But I can find a laugh in just about anything, even if it gets kind of dark from time to time. And I noticed that while my dad, very serious man, business owner, outdoorsman, all those things, and one hell of a father, he could find the jokes in things, and he had a way of saying things at the right time to get the laugh out of people, to kind of break the awkwardness out of the room. And honestly, I don't think I would be doing this job, you guys, if I didn't have that from him. So I got to say thanks. My corgis are kind of smartasses, but I don't think I passed that down to them. I think that's something that they came from the womb with. So anyway, on to our next question. Favorite dad activity. Now, this can be when you were a child and you were working or hanging out or doing something with your dad, or it can be now that you're a dad, your favorite absolute 100% gotta do it thing. If you've got a Father's Day coming up, you've got no work obligations, money is not an object, what's the one dad thing that you're doing? Mike, we'll start with you. I know that you've already told us about a bunch of the stuff that you're going to be doing, and that's probably a perfect Father's Day. Is there anything else that you love to do with your dad, or that you love to do with your kids, that's kind of sitting on the list?
Oh, me and my son are definitely going fishing. That's for sure.
Okay, I like it.
Freaking love it when he's able to, cast his line out there and, reel in a bluegill, and he gets so excited about it. It's makes my day. Awesome.
I bet you it just melts you into a puddle, doesn't it? And you're kind of a tougher looking dude too. So when you're out there crying on the riverbank, people probably have some questions, huh?
Dude, I'm a big softie. I'm not as mean as I used to be. My kids made me soft for sure.
That's all right.
But they also made it to where I'm very, very protective of my family. Like, somebody messes with my family, you better watch out, because the old me is going to be coming up, and you're not going to like that person.
I hear you. How about you, Donut? You're having a land party. You're going shooting. It sounds like your favorite activities are kind of already covered here, but was there anything that you did with your dad, or any other things that you like to do with your kids that we haven't talked about at this point?
Well, other than the land party, what we used to do with my grandfather, my father, my adoptive dad, and my stepdad, we at different times and sometimes together, we'd go hiking out to kind of one of those ranges out in the middle of nowhere. Mm-hmm. It's just that feel with that dirt pile that everyone knows is there, and that the owners have no problems with people coming on and shooting as long as they carry out what they carry in.
Oh yeah,
that's what we used to do a lot. My father actually came to visit when I was living with my grandparents. At the end of my high school career, I was placed with my grandparents for reasons, and my grandpa, my father, and I, we all went out to this place. We hiked out there. We went shooting, and my dad, who was Army and qualified something marksman, I don't remember exactly, but he qualified marksman in the Army, and my grandfather, who was Air Force, and me, who was none of those things, we're all out there, and my dad, my father being confident in his skills, told my grandfather and I that we could shoot at the targets first. My grandfather and I hit them dead center with a pellet gun, and with the pellet gun my father was using, he couldn't even hit the target because there was wind.
Yeah, blame it on the wind, blame it on the iron sights, blame it on anything, just not the training.
Oh, no, it was definitely the wind. He wasn't trained for the wind with an air rifle. He was trained for wind with gunpowder.
I see. So you guys are out there throwing these big sweeping curveballs and still hitting the target. He can't hit his ass with both hands. I love it. Humbled him pretty quick, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. He even said, he's like, give me an AR and I'll outshoot both of you.
Yeah, or maybe shoot at you if you keep giving me shit about missing. That's great, man. Well, I'm going to tell you what I like about that hike story is I'm not I'm not a big hiker because I get my hiking. I tell my wife this all the time. I get my hiking in during hunting season, right? I'm out in the woods. I'm walking for miles at a time with all this gear on. It's plenty of exercise, but hiking to me has always kind of been hunting without a gun. And I'm glad that you guys found a way to get guns on the hike and actually make it worthwhile at the end of it there, Donut. That's a good hike in my book.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think we got a train coming through the interview there a little bit. Matt Kleich, you said your dad was your best friend. We've talked about that a little bit. Favorite activity for you and him to do when you guys get together?
Drinking beer.
Drinking beer. Just
I mean, it is simple as that. It's just drinking beer. It's me, my brother, my dad. It's simple. It's politics, religion, women, and beer.
Oh, great. So those never end in fist fights, I'm sure.
Not with us. No, because we all agree.
Oh, okay. So it's just
at some point in time we all agree, but no, that's the truth of it. I mean, that is the realistic point of view with my family. My dad, my brother, and I. It's just drinking beer. I mean, you know, you could drink some iced tea, drink some coffee. You know, do what you got to do, but we're all together.
Sure. Now, is this in a garage? Or is this a front porch? Are you around a bonfire? Is there a project car in the corner? Is there anything else going on other than just the conversation?
I'm pretty sure we could. I'm pretty sure we could do this I'm pretty sure we could do this in the projects in LA. Just drink beer.
Just sit there and drink beer and have a good conversation, man. Well, then
it's all about being together. There doesn't have to be an activity.
Sure.
You know.
Something to say about that, man. There's probably only a handful of people that each one of us could stomach doing that with a lot, right? And it's pretty special when you get to do it with a couple of your favorite people all the time.
You know, when your dad and your brother's involved and you're just sitting back and you're drinking a beer, you know, we all have our lives. That's the bottom line. We all have our different lives. And when it's all said and done, you know, what are you going to do? You know, he was a mechanic. He was a truck driver. It's just best to sit back and enjoy each other.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. That's all we worry about is just the time together.
Well said,
you
Matt.
know?
Well said. I love that. That's awesome. Tim, again, thanks for being patient as I work through the roster here. How about for you and either your adopted dad, anything that you guys really enjoyed to do when you were a kid, or something that, you know, we've talked a lot about all the adventures you guys are going on as a family this summer, but is there anything that you left off the list that's just kind of a favorite thing to do with either your dad or your kids?
With my dad, we used to go every Father's Day and go to Stewart, Iowa, and they had an archery shoot. So we would go through all the courses and prove to each other who's the better archer. But as far as, like, with my kids, honestly, it doesn't matter. As long as we're together, like, it doesn't matter what we're doing.
Yeah, sure.
But,
now,
sometimes.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Dad would group outdoors, and sometimes we'd even throw atlatls in the backyard.
Oh, that's cool. I've never thrown one of those before, but I want to.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
I bet, man. I bet. So who is the better archer? Just in case your father, he hears this or you tell him about it, if he's still with us, and I hope he is, who was the better archer? And tell us the truth.
Well, normally right off the bat, Dad's usually well practiced.
Yeah.
So he lives on a big acreage, and he's always shooting all the time. So he outshoots me to begin with, but once I get warmed up, I outshoot him.
Okay. All right. So a little bit of a teeter-totter there, but that's okay. It keeps things interesting.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, gentlemen, listen, I've got to save a little bit of time at the end of this episode because we have some recorded Father's Day messages that we want to play for you as well from some of the other staff and drivers. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with some final thoughts here. And actually, because I've been going the same order the entire time, I'm going to flip this whole thing on its head. I'm starting with Tim for final thoughts. And for this one, guys, of course, you can say anything you want, as always, with our final thoughts on here. But it's a chance for you to say Happy Father's Day to anybody that you want to, or thank any of your family, anything like that. Tim Spencer, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, happy Father's Day to my dad. unfortunately, his dad just passed away the other day. So, it's gonna be a hard time for him, and I love him, and I'll be seeing him here real soon.
Well, sorry to hear about your dad's dad there. I hope that he's able to mourn appropriately and also get to spend some time with family. That always makes the hurt just a little bit less. So thanks for being here with us today, Tim. We always appreciate the time. On to you, Matt. Last thoughts for us here on our Father's Day special on the Liquid Trucking Podcast.
I was going to say to all the dads out there that are trying to busting their ass, keep rocking. But to my dad, you ain't never stopped rocking. To my stepson, Alex, who's becoming a new dad in September, that's when they're expecting. That's their first. My son-in-law, Zephyr, and my son-in-law, Andy, you guys are dads. Keep it up. Keep going the way you're going. And listen, I'm not going to leave you out there, Marcus, because you got fur babies. You're a dad, too.
Hey, thanks, Matt. I appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
And there ain't nothing better. I'm gonna tell you, if I could, there's a rule of thumb, Marcus, on my last thoughts. And my dad told me this a long time ago. He told me, he said, Matt, I'm gonna tell you something. He says, between dogs and kids and grandkids, he says, if I could have skipped the kids and had grandkids and dogs, I'd have never had you kids. So to the fur baby parents, and I know you got dogs because you're like me, but hey, here's to you as a fur baby dad.
Thank you.
To everybody out there and all the guys on this line, hey, listen, being a dad's a son of a bitch. It ain't the easiest thing. And I know I've been doing it for 30 plus years on the road. To all you guys on the road and all the guys on this phone line right now in the podcast, and that's everybody, keep just happy Father's Day to you all. You're doing what you're doing. Just keep it going.
Very well said, Matt. Very well said, and I echo that sentiment. And I really appreciate you folding me into the loop and telling me Happy Father's Day for being a corgi dad. That's all I'll ever be, is a dog dad and a fun uncle. And be honest with you, I'm okay with it. It's pretty good life that I lead here. Donut, on to you, my friend, for your final thoughts for us before we let you get back to your home time.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with being the fun uncle, okay? Sometimes that is just as important as being a dad.
Yep, you know it.
I know my uncle was instrumental in the way I'm living my. In fact, he works at Liquid. He's the one who brought me over.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, shit.
He was really instrumental. He's actually who helped me get my love for video games. That's one of the things he'd do. Mom was at work. Grandpa was taking a nap. He'd show up at the house and be like, hey, I got the new Banjo-Kazooie. You want to come play?
That's so cool. That's great, man. Well, being a fun uncle is pretty awesome. I actually celebrated my my little nephew's birthday. He's 7.5 hours away from me, so I only got to talk to him on the phone, but it was his birthday yesterday, so I get what you're saying, man. Being the uncle is cool because I have next to no responsibility, but I do get to have all the fun.
But for final thoughts, yeah, just happy Father's Day to everybody and to all the guys kicking it out. We make, especially us drivers, we make a lot of sacrifices to make sure that we can do that we can be there. It hits us hard sometimes. We knuckle down, rub some dirt on it, and just walk it off.
Yeah, don't be a puss.
We're there. Yeah.
Well, well said, Donut. We appreciate the time, and again, joining us from home time, like Matt Kleich and like Mike, who we're going to next. We always appreciate you guys joining us on the off time, and Tim, I'm not going to forget about you out there just grinding while you're out here talking to us as well, so we appreciate that. Final thoughts from Mike Stanfield. What do you got for me?
Man, well, first of all, happy Father's Day to everybody. One of the greatest accomplishments, one of the greatest things that I've ever done in my life was have these kids. It's the best feeling. It's the best accomplishment. And I'm going to cry, but I couldn't be happier. Just be sure, you guys, to hug them tight. Tell them you love them, because you just never know. So be sure you hug your kids, hug your loved ones super tight. And I think Eli wants to say something too.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks for letting me talk.
You're welcome, Eli. Thanks for being here. Be sure to give your dad a real good Father's Day hug, okay, when it comes around.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. Well, guys, I'll be honest with you. It was completely by accident and just something I decided I was going to do when we switched the order there. But, Mike, you really brought it home, man. You almost made me cry right there, but then you put Eli back on the phone and the smile came right back. So appreciate all of you guys for being here today. Thank you for having this sort of heartfelt conversation with me. I know these ones aren't always the easiest, but they always turn out great. You guys did a phenomenal job. Thanks, Mike, Donut, Matt, and Tim. You guys were all fantastic today.
Thank you, Marcus.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Marcus. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely, fellas. Happy Father's Day to you all out there at Liquid Trucking, making the sacrifice to make sure that your family has the life they deserve. We know you're out there working hard. We appreciate all of the dads and all of the people at Liquid Trucking. So this has been a fantastic interview with these guys for our Father's Day special. I've got some recorded messages coming up. Stay tuned. It's the Liquid Trucking Podcast. We're coming right back. All right, we've got some special messages here for Father's Day. Every time we do a Father's Day special on this podcast, we want to pack it with as many people as we possibly can that might want to come on and either wish their loved ones a happy Father's Day or maybe claim some happy Father's Day. Like this next guy with me, I'm going to wish him a happy Father's Day because I know he deserves it. But let's see who he wants to talk to. Joining me right now is Nick Meyer from Liquid Trucking. Nick, thank you so much for being here with me today, man. I want to wish you a happy Father's Day because I know that you've got kids at home and even a recent graduate in the family, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct, and thank you for having me on the show, Marcus.
Of course, man. What does being a dad mean to you, Nick? Let's start with that real quick.
Well, it's all I ever know. I've been a dad since I've been 17, so it's just part of my life, and I'm very blessed to be a father of 3 daughters.
That's awesome, man. Well, I don't want to step on a potential message that you might have, whether it be for the drivers, for your family, for yourself. So you can go ahead and get on with your Father's Day message whenever you're ready, my friend.
All right. Well, I want to give a shout out to my daughters, Marie, who's 23, Leah, who's 18, and Penelope, who's 7. Thank you for making me a father and keeping me on my toes and nails polished, my pants with glitter on them, and a flamboyant wardrobe. I love you, girls.
That was awesome, Nick. Thank you so much for being here. That's Nick Meyer from Liquid Trucking, and we got more right around the corner. All right, I'm back here with another special Father's Day message from the Liquid staff. And before we welcome our guest here for this special announcement, I did want to say that there are a few competing days with Father's Day this year. You know, Father's Day is always on that, I believe, that second Sunday of June. So it moves around a little bit. And I'm going to bring in VP of HR and Safety from Liquid Trucking, Jason Eisenman, to talk to me a little bit here about some of these days and also deliver a very special Father's Day message himself. Jason, it's always a pleasure to have you on here. From everyone here at the Liquid Trucking Podcast, on my side of the fence, want to wish you a very happy Father's Day, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Likewise to you.
Hey, Corgi Father's Day indeed, and I will accept it. We've already established that in this episode. If anybody feels like making a donation to my Patreon, that's great. I don't have one of those, but I'll take any type of Father's Day gifts you want to send me, is what I'm saying here, Jason. I find it kind of funny. Did you know that June 15th is actually Beer Day in Britain?
I did not know that.
What a great day to line up with Father's Day. I mean, it's across the pond and everything. We're not going to celebrate it, but I don't see why you wouldn't.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a holiday for fathers to drink beer. I think that's pretty synonymous in America on a fine Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
As long as it's done, safely and appropriately.
There you go. There you go. Of course, always consume responsibly. We're all about that here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. It's also something I think might have been done on purpose. National Little League Baseball Day. I don't know that there's anything that pairs better with Father's Day than some Little League baseball. How about you, Jason?
Now, I have a lot of memories playing baseball with my dad. Softball, underhand, fast pitch. I think that's pretty darn spot on right there. And I mean, it's America's pastime, right? You've got who doesn't grow up throwing a little catch?
Yeah.
Look at the movie, The Field of Dreams.
Yeah, and I mean, so many other great baseball movies too that kind of have that father and son vibe, right? Like I said, I feel like that one was done sort of on purpose, Jason. But there's some other ones in here. National Electricity Day, which I think since it is Father's Day, we should use those two to combine and remind ourselves not to electrocute ourselves during any type of honey-do list taken care of on the day prior to Father's Day. So just think about that. But Jason, we brought you in here for a special Father's Day message, and we can get to that here in a second. I know you were looking a little bit about the history of Father's Day. Did you want to go into that at all? Some of the things that you found out?
Too crazy to dive into there. A quick Google search will tell you it was just a story about a Civil War veteran that raised, I think it was 5 kids when their mother died, and I'm missing something there, I'm almost certain, but it was just one of those moments where you sit back and you think like, gosh, we're going to set aside 5 minutes and we're going to talk about Father's Day. But prior to this time in life, prior to this conversation right now, I've never sat down and thought about, gosh, what is Father's Day? What's the history of it? Where does it come from? Father's Day is generally just a day where you mentioned the honey-do list. Well, that's a day where you can pause the honey-do list and get away with it. It's a day where, you might be hanging out with your grandfather, great-grandfather, your father. If you're a father, then your kids. And I think what's most important for everybody to realize, this is a Liquid Trucking podcast, and it is a work-sponsored function. And at the end of the day, when we all, go home, we are something to somebody. We're a father, or maybe you don't have kids, but you have a father and a grandfather. Like it's a role in life that you're gonna interact with or be, and we have to remember as people that all that stuff comes first. And there's only so many trips around the globe that we get to be a father or see our father. So I guess in that short 5 minutes of reading that history, I was like, maybe we should appreciate the day a little more and see if we can't slow it down, enjoy it a little.
Yeah, very well said there. And do you have plans to slow down and enjoy it a little bit with your family? Are you getting into anything special? You having a barbecue? Or are you going golfing or fishing or anything fun like that?
So where we live, oh gosh, we call it Papillion Days, and it's on Father's Day weekend every year. And it starts like on Thursday and goes all the way through Thursday. It's got a carnival and a parade and a car show and all kinds of things. So our tradition in my family with our kids, we go to the same Papillion Days and we do all the things, eat all the stuff, hear all the music, watch all there's a fireworks show. So Father's Day weekend for me for the last, since 2009 when we moved to the Omaha area, has always been doing things in and around this carnival festival. So super thankful to have those memories, and hope that everybody, has something that they also do every Father's Day. Traditions are good to have, even if they're small, big, just do it and cherish the time.
That's really cool that they set that up on the weekend of Father's Day each year, so that you always have that to look forward to. And it sounds like it's got great stuff for the whole family, because I don't know if you're like me, Jason, but when I get to a carnival environment, I start goosenecking to find some of the fried food and some of that really good carnival stuff that I don't get that many times a year. And then you've got rides for the kids, you've got games, you've got the fireworks and the music, like you mentioned. This sounds like an awesome festival.
Yeah, they do a great job, and the cool part is that most of America has small towns littered all over with summer events like that, or, maybe it's just going over to your family, going over to your buddies. Whatever it is you're doing, just do it, like only limited amount of time. So better make the best of it while we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Jason, I want to close here by just letting you send a message out to all the employees from Liquid Trucking or your family or anyone else. As you know, when we get to the final thoughts segment in an interview on this podcast, the floor is yours. So please take the time that you need and say what you need to say.
It's kind of a worldly holiday, right? There's fathers all across the world, and we're a small part of it, and glad to have all the fathers that work at Liquid Trucking that come to work every day and make this happen. And my message would be, to say, hey, thanks, and forget about work on Father's Day and go make the most of it with people who really count.
Well said there by Jason Eisenman, VP of Safety and HR for Liquid Trucking. Jason, I've said this before, man. You're dang good at this. Always appreciate having you on here. It's a pleasure, and hope you have a really happy Father's Day at Papillion Days.
Thanks, man.
All right, Liquid Trucking, that's going to about do it for our time here on our Father's Day special for 2025 on the Liquid Trucking podcast. And I have to think about that stuff now because we're about 3 years in here. September, I will be 3 years with the company that I work for. And I mean, obviously, numbers of episodes wise, we're pushing 100 episodes here any minute, which means we're going to be coming up on 2 years of the Liquid Trucking podcast as well. So I have to think about saying our Father's Day special for 2025, because I don't want you to get it mixed up with the Father's Day special for 2024, which was also a badass episode. We're going to always be doing these. And listen, if there's some holidays out there that you as a driver are listening to and you're like, well, hey, how come they didn't celebrate this? Dude, send me a text message, send me an email, podcast@liquidtrucking.com. That is definitely something I want to do for you guys. If we can, if there's holidays out there that you guys want us to celebrate for whatever reason, and hey, maybe it could even be something like, let me look at my little spread here. I mean, Beer Day in Britain, we could definitely celebrate. We'll have to look for that one coming around next year. But like, what else we got here? Country Cooking Month. We can celebrate that on the podcast. Magna Carta Day. I don't know how many of you guys are history buffs, but Magna Carta Day, it happens on June 15th because I do believe back in 1215 on June 15th, and 1215 is when the Magna Carta was signed. The first execution for witchcraft happened in 1648. I got my dates mixed up there. Sorry about that. Didn't expect that little tidbit of information. Anyway, I told you guys I was going to have a short little message here for my dad because, as you guys know, we've established it. Like I said with Jason, I'm a corgi dad. I know it means a lot. There's a lot of dog people. I'm a furious dog person myself. I feel like a dad to him, but I don't like to bastardize Father's Day and include all dog dads. I'm just going to include myself because I'm the voice of this podcast, and I can do that. But I just want to say a quick message to my dad, who I mentioned already. I would not have, a lot of people sometimes when I talk about things that I enjoy on this podcast or on other podcasts that I do, they're like, man, you have so many hobbies, you do so many things. And really, I feel like my life is quite boring, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I do these things, but it's kind of because I've always done them. When I was a kid in 5th grade, my dad, being a guitar player his whole life, put drumsticks in my hand and let me chase my dream. And lo and behold, at the ripe old age of 40, I'm in the process of starting a band right now. Wouldn't be doing that if they didn't, my dad and of course my mom goes hand in hand with all of this. But, they, rather than push me into something that dad wanted to do, he said, nah, let him drum, let him do his thing. Baseball, my dad was a catcher. I would sit behind the plate as trying to catch, and thank God they gave me gear, because I would watch the batter. I wouldn't even watch the pitch. He'd come in and smoke me right in the chest. You know where I was better utilized? Out on that hot corner at third base, and my dad caught on to that real quick, and rather than force me to sit in and take a beating as a catcher, no, we moved my ass out to the infield where I could actually be utilized, right? There's little things like that all through my life that I realize on a day like today, or on a day like Father's Day, I should say more accurately, where I sit back and go, what was the actual effect? What is the consequence of being raised the way that I was? And consequence is even a bad word. What I do think, what are the results of being raised the way that I was? And it's doing this. Like, my dad encouraged me to chase my dreams. He didn't always think that my dreams were the wisest thing, but he didn't discourage me from chasing my dreams. In fact, if he had, there's a very high likelihood that I'm not sitting here talking to you today. Because one thing that my dad had as a rule for me when I was a kid that I feel like just sort of became an instinct in my life is when I was in 6th grade, I remember my 6th grade teacher came up to me and he said, listen, I know you like basketball. Everybody loves basketball, but you can tell you're the tallest kid in the class right now and everybody's catching up to you. And he said, I just don't think you're going to go much further north as far as your height's concerned. I think you're stuck, and I would like you to come out for the wrestling team and give it a try. He said, if you don't like it, you don't have to stay on the team. So I went home that night and I told my dad, hey, I think I'm going to go try wrestling for a week. And he said, absolutely not. That is a team. They will depend on you if you are a part of that team. If you are going to join the team, you will try it out for a season. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to wrestle next year. But you are not quitting on your team in the middle of the season. It's not going to happen. And I kind of distilled that down a bit in my life to don't quit. Just don't quit. On the date of this podcast airing, 4 days after the day that this podcast airs is Father's Day, June 15th. We already talked about the actual date. That will be 10 years to the day from the day that I got fired from my dream radio job that I worked here in Eugene for almost a full decade. We had a very popular show. We were very successful. We were running around getting away with whatever we wanted to. And as a lot of things in life will prove to you, it eventually got too good to be true. And the corporate money men, they came for my head and they took it. And I'm sure it's still hanging on their wall. But without a readily available radio job to jump to, I was kind of lost, stuck, lost, just dejected is a good way to put it. I just kept thinking, just don't quit. If this is something that you want to do, then go do it. And I'll be honest with you, 10 years ago was the last time I was on the radio in any capacity other than just an unpaid guest spot where I was filling in for somebody as a favor. And I'll be honest with you, it happened. It sucked when it happened. But if I didn't have that don't quit mantra, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you on the Liquid Trucking Podcast today. So I really do have my dad, who's honestly one of the biggest fans of this podcast. I've got him and my mom both to thank for that don't quit mentality. And so my Father's Day message to my dad is, first and foremost, happy Father's Day. Love you to death. You're the best dad in the world. And on top of that, thanks for instilling in me the fight to never quit and to chase down my dreams, because I love this job. I get to meet so many cool people. I never thought I would be in a spot like this. You know, it's pretty niche, right? There's not a lot of big trucking podcasts out there, and I don't intend to make this one anything other than the best that I can possibly make it. So it's really cool to reflect on a Father's Day episode like this about how my dad has had a role in this podcast, a lot more than just a weekly click like you might think. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Les, if there's anybody else out there listening, wondering who's this guy's dad, do I know him? His name's Les. He lives in Northeast Oregon. If you know him, you know him. If you don't know him, you got to meet the guy. He's a bag of tricks, man. A lot of fun, that guy. So happy Father's Day, Dad. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there across the Liquid Trucking family. That goes from the terminal to the trailer shop to the truck shop to the tank wash to Bartow, and everybody out there that touches a liquid truck or has anything to do with it whatsoever. If you're celebrating, happy Father's Day to you guys from the Liquid Trucking Podcast and all of our crew. Thank you so much for making this podcast what it is. Thank you for sacrificing all the time with your family to work this job and to make Liquid Trucking the phenomenally great company that it is. Can't say thank you enough. Happy Father's Day. We will be with you again next week. So until then, Liquid Trucking, keep the shiny side up and stay safe out there. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for tuning in and being the gold standard of drivers on the road. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tune in next week for another episode of the Liquid Trucking Podcast.